Peace and blessings to everybody out there. Welcome back to the Fake Woke Podcast. This is your boy Bobby Villain. I'm back with another episode. This is episode 20. Jonathan Price. Jonathan Price was a 31-year-old black man that was murdered at a gas station in Wolf City, Texas. Pretty small town. Everybody really knew each other because it was such a small town. So the police officer, the police officer that murdered Jonathan Price, you would assume since they live in a small town they would know each other. But I guess that was not the case. Sean Lucas, the officer that murdered Jonathan Price, is now facing murder charges. That's not it. That's not all that I wanted to address. I wanted to address the fact that this case is not really getting any traction. It's low-key kind of being swept up under the rug for the most part. You don't hear nothing from Black Lives Matter. I think it's because of his background. Let's get into his background. After reading about 3-4 articles on the situation, come to find out that Jonathan Price was what they would call a stand-up citizen. He was a physical fitness trainer. 31-year-old man in shape. I think he was like over 6 foot or some shit. So he was breaking up a domestic dispute between a white couple. The white man was sitting there putting his hands on his woman. Jonathan Price saw it. He broke up the fight. Police officer responds to the call, pulls up to the gas station, sees the white couple and Jonathan Price. Guess who he approached? Of course, Jonathan Price. He approached Jonathan Price, pulls out his taser, tases Jonathan Price. Jonathan Price, he don't lunge forward, but for the most part, he walks towards the officer, from what I read, and the officer pulls his service pistol out of his holster and fires, killing Jonathan Price. Now, it's a sad case. Even though Texas is a open carry state, Jonathan Price had no weapon on him. He was unarmed. That's very sad. That's very, very sad. He was just breaking up a fight. But like I said, we're gonna get into his background. Just, reading the article, searching on Twitter, scrolling. Come to find out, my beautiful black women pulled out the receipts on him. Come to find out, he was adopted by a white family at a young age. Due to the fact that his family, his original family, was not taking care of him. They could not take care of him. So he was adopted. He lived with the white family for the rest of his life. So he was an all lives matter type of guy. He believed the police pretty much couldn't do any wrong. He was lack of a better word, a black conservative. Now my question is, for Black Lives Matter, what's wrong? There's not enough money in this? Y'all can't make enough money off of him? Because he don't fit y'all guidelines of dead black men? He was too much of a conservative. He wasn't the typical black American. And then my question is for the conservatives. Another question for the conservatives, especially the black conservatives. Where y'all at? Why are y'all not speaking about this? What's the problem? He followed y'all ideology. All lives matter. Black conservative. Addiction to white women. Yes, he had an addiction to white women. He blames it on the fact that he was adopted by a white family. Just what they would consider a stand-up citizen on the right. The right meaning the conservative, the Republicans, people that go for Republicans. Where y'all at? Why y'all ain't saying anything about this? Well, he don't have a record. You can't pull his record up and demonize him. He believed all police was right. He believed the police do their job fairly. Don't y'all believe that? Y'all quick to pull up a victim's history, a victim of police brutality. Y'all quick to pull up his history, pull up his criminal record, just to demonize him, to make it seem like it was a just shooting, a good shooting. But I don't hear y'all talking about this one and how it was actually a misunderstanding and the officer made a mistake and he took somebody's life. But y'all ain't gonna be able to admit to that. Y'all couldn't even admit to the fact that Miss Breonna Taylor was murdered and they swept that shit up under the rug, and more evidence keep coming out that points to the fact that they swept that up under the rug. It's a shame, bro. It's a shame. Y'all pick and choose who y'all want to martyr and advocate for. Y'all turned George Floyd into a martyr. Y'all turned Breonna Taylor into a martyr. Y'all turned what's the gentleman's name? Mike Brown into a martyr. That kicked all of this shit off. Trayvon Martin, y'all turned these people into martyrs. But this gentleman don't see the light of day. His story don't get brought up. Nobody speaks about it. Not on the left, not on the right. Not bullshit ass Black Lives Matter. They don't see no money in it. That's why they ain't speaking about it. Conservatives can't go back on their support for so-called blue lives. So they can't speak on it because there's no money behind it. A lot of the topics that more than likely y'all gonna hear about in regards of police brutality, the only reason why they speaking about it is because they can make some type of money off of it. Always remember that. They're not doing it for just reasons. They're doing it because they could get a bag off the shit. They could grift off the shit. So all those people, Eric Gardner, all of them, they only brought that shit up because there was money behind it. They felt like they could make money off of it. And I keep telling people, The only time you see a dead black man in media is because they can make money off of it. They don't really want to see justice, because if they really wanted to see justice, they wouldn't have covered up the fact that they already know who shot Breonna Taylor, which one of the officers that shot Breonna Taylor. Instead, they charge a man for shooting the wall and not her. And the man that's being charged, his bullets didn't even hit her. Speaking of which, he was spraying and praying. They believe that Breonna Taylor's boyfriend didn't even shoot one of the cops. One of the cops were shot by friendly fire, but that's a different story. But like I was saying, yeah, I understand the gentleman didn't fall up under y'all criteria of grifting, but that don't mean that his story don't need to be heard. And this is the message to the black community, black women. Just because somebody like the opposite, I would say, race, or has an addiction to white women, don't mean y'all can't advocate for that person too. Because I was on Twitter and I saw it with my own eyes. You had black women talking about, had those white women go protest for him. Boy, when I kind of cackled. It's not funny, but at the same time, it's just like, damn, bro, that's how y'all really feel. They were saying the same thing about George Floyd when they found out his significant other was white. My question is, if Breonna Taylor's boyfriend was white, would y'all be saying the same thing? Now, let's not lose sight, man. Stick to your guns. Well, don't stick to your guns, actually. Let's just call it even Steven, man. Right down the middle, dog. Let's not create a rift amongst each other. That's already there. We got to close that gap. We got to do what's best for our community, the black community. Yeah, man. It's sad. It's sad. That gentleman lost his life for no reason. All because he was breaking up a fight. That's why you should mind your own business. Definitely mind your own business. But thank you for tuning in to the Fake Woke Podcast. I appreciate everybody that support my podcast. I appreciate the people that call me a Trump supporter. I'm going to do a video on that soon. That's probably going to be my next video. I appreciate everybody that understands where I'm coming from and know that my views might be a little more conservative than the next person, but I don't mean no harm. But thank you again. Go ahead, like. Go ahead, subscribe. Share my videos. Comment below. Do whatever you need to do. Go ahead and put this episode out there for me, please. Thank you. I appreciate you all.